Welcome back to Hannity. It appears that the Chicago mayor, Rambo Deadfish Emanuel, he can't get a handle on the crime rate in his own city because he is now outsourcing the security of his constituents to a very unlikely source, and that's Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. Now, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, on the past 2 Mondays, the Nation of Islam army has flooded the streets of Chicago in order to, quote, form a human wall of protection against any sudden outbreak of gunfire. So what am I missing here? Why would the mayor want any help from this man when it comes to anything? Now, this is a man who has made more racist and anti-Semitic comments than anyone that I can think of, but apparently Deadfish, well, he disagrees with me. Listen to what he said at a press conference yesterday.
I think people of faith have a role to play, and community leaders have a role to play, helping protect our communities, our neighborhoods, and our citizens. You cannot get there on just one piece of an anti-crime strategy. The police have a role to play, pastors have a role to play, principals have a role to play, and most importantly, parents have a role to play. They have decided, the Nation of Islam, to help protect community, and that's an important ingredient like all the other aspects of protecting a neighborhood.
So what exactly is your job, Mr. Mayor? Joining me with reaction, World Net Daily columnist Eric Rush and the executive director of the American Values Institute, Alexis McGill Johnson. Thank you both for being here. You know, I look at the comments, Eric, over the years. We all know many of them. We can quote a lot of them. You know, in his magazine, The God That Teaches Me, the white man is the skunk of the planet Earth, all his anti-Semitic comments, they're well chronicled. Why would the mayor of Chicago join forces with this guy to, you know, police the streets that he's supposed to be policing?
Well, you know, Farrakhan and the people that Rahm Emanuel hangs with, they're ideologically aligned. You know, my complaint about Farrakhan, aside from him being a fire-breathing racist, basically, is that the kind of violence that you have in the streets going on in Chicago right now are really a byproduct of liberal policies. You know, Farrakhan's bedfellows are the people who, for the past 40, 50 years, have been providing the substandard schools, the activism, and the kind of hopelessness, fomenting that hopelessness and the anger in the streets, especially among the youth, that leads to the kind of violence that we're seeing in the first place.
Yeah, all right, let me play a tape of Farrakhan, and not the ones that people are used to hearing, because they've been played a lot over the years. But I want you to pay in particular attention to "I'll create a revolution inside of America," as we play this montage.
How dare you act like you're against dictators? Come on, you American people. I'm talking to you. When did America not love dictators? So I told Brother Gaddafi and the people around him, I'll take the Bible and the Quran and I'll create a revolution inside America. That's why I don't expect too much, even though I invite you, because I know you are already bought and paid for, and I don't give a damn whether you like what I say or not. The truth will get out.
Could it be that the 3,000 people that died at the World Trade Center were not killed by Osama bin Laden or Muslims at all?
Could it be that that was used by our government?
9/11 truther, "I'll create a revolution in America," known racist and anti-Semite. You want him policing the streets of Chicago?
Look, you know,
That's a yes or no question.
I think there is a crisis happening in Chicago and a lot of our cities. 2 weekends ago.
We know there's a crisis. Is that the right man to go to?
Do we really understand the kind of crisis that we have? And I think the kind of crisis that's on deck right now.
You're ducking my question. Is that the proper? I will create a revolution in America. Is that the guy that belongs helping protect the streets?
Recognizing Farrakhan's reach is not akin to endorsing his views, and we need people who will be on the streets.
That is a cop-out.
Who will be on the streets. And the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan aside, the Nation of Islam
an anti-Semite? Is he or is he not?
Played a tremendous role in creating spiritual discipline and getting a lot of young people
a revolution inside of America.
And his speech is hateful. His speech is hateful.
So we're going to have a hateful guy creating peace on the streets.
We're going to have somebody who has an incredible amount of reach. In Chicago. Do you have an answer to how to address gun violence?
How about Rombo Deadfish and the police department do their job?
How about we start taking seriously the fact that almost 1 out of 3 young African-American men are going to jail?
All right, let me go back to Eric.
That's an incredible number, and we're not doing anything about it.
We're going to have, what, Reverend G.D. America's chickens have come home to roost. Is he going to help next? Who else are we going to invite into this? Maybe Bill Ayers can bring peace to Chicago. Who else is on this list of people the mayor's going to go to bring safety to their streets, Eric?
Well, you know, I can't help but wonder if Rahm Emanuel would have welcomed the Ku Klux Klan in, you know, if they want to help the, the kids in Chicago too. So what if they're a bunch of racist creeps? You know, validating Farrakhan is validating. Please don't
We're
interrupt.
Talking about somebody who is connected in the community.
It's validating him is validating his worldview. Malik Zulu Shabazz of the New Black Panther Party, who wants to kill white people, was under Farrakhan's tutelage. This is the kind of worldview that you're endorsing when you endorse him. And as I said before, the reason that you have this kind of social and economic squalor in the black community is directly traceable to the kind of liberal policies that Rahm Emanuel expounds, the kind of people that he expounds, and these are Farrakhan's political bedfellows. And I do not understand why it is that you cannot let me say my piece when I shut up while you were talking. Is there any reason that you have to interrupt me?
All right, we got to, Eric, we're only short on time, so we're going to run here. You don't have any problem whatsoever with his racist, anti-Semitic views, and I'll bring revolution to America. You don't have any problems.
I have a problem with this.
You don't think there's a lack of,
can I
finish my question? You don't see that as a lack of judgment by the mayor of Chicago to bring in that divisive a figure? I see it as underscoring the sense of urgency that's happening in Chicago right now. Absolutely. That's your best answer. They are in a worse shape than I thought. That is the shape. That's pathetic. 60 people dying in one weekend is a pretty pathetic record on crime. And I will create a revolution inside America. Okay, let's talk about bring that guy in to bring peace. That makes a lot of sense. Who are hopeless and hungry and spend the same kind of energy on that and stop. Farrakhan's not the problem here. Farrakhan is a problem. He is a problem. So bring in the problem to fix a problem. But the problem are these kids who are hungry and hopeless. And let's talk about solutions for them. When we come back.